Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to talk about the RPE scale, or rate of perceived exertion scale. This is a scale of 1 to 10 to determine how hard you found an exercise, a number of reps, a bout of cardio, whatever it might be. This is a universal way to measure how difficult you found something. Then using that information, we can then take that into further programming or into further considerations. Now, you'll see a lot of the start of my programming, especially in the week 1, it's generally established to try and find yourself an RPE 7 or an RPE 8. So when you finish that bout of exercise, so we're going to take, say, a bench press, and I've got 4 sets of 5 at RPE 8. That means I want you to find a set where you finish and you feel like it's an 8 out of 10. All right, let's cover that scale then. So it's a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being just walking around everyday life, nothing really bothering you. You could go on forever and it wouldn't be an issue whatsoever. A 10, however, obviously is on the complete opposite of that spectrum. A 10 being, I'm working my absolute hardest. I could not give you any more. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. Please don't make me do any more sort of job. So that's the scale of 1 to 10. A 5 somewhere in the middle wants to be a case of, yes, I felt it, but I could do it again straight away. So say it's a set of push-ups. You do your set of 10 push-ups. You sit back. Yep, I'm ready to go again. You could do another set of 10 push-ups. So you know you've done something, but it's quite easy to recover from. And now a 7 and an 8, which is where I want most of my training to be around, or most of your guys' training to be around, is going to be you finish the set, but you feel like you need some rest time. So you finish your set of 10 push-ups, and you feel like you need maybe 30 seconds to a minute rest before you can do another set of 10 push-ups. Another way to look at this is also use the reps in reserve scale. So the reps in reserve scale is, as it sounds, how many more reps could you do before you hit failure? So let's take the push-up example again. If it was a 2 rep in reserve, which would roughly be about an RPE 8, see how that works there. You would do your 10 push-ups and you would think to yourself, yeah, 2 more, and then there's no way I could do any more reps. So it is working fairly hard, but obviously not to that maximum, okay? And that is kind of where I want to base a lot of our starting weeks from, and then from there we will build that up. All right, so another thing I want to add on is when I speak about doing multiple sets at an RP range, so say it's an RP 7 on a set of bench press, is there's something we need to account for called intraset fatigue. So what essentially that is going to be, so say you've got 60 kilos for 8 reps on the bench press, so you do your first set of 8 reps at 60 kilos, and that felt like the correct RPE for, let's say for this example, it's a 7 out of 10, so 7 RPE. You then take your rest time, you then go again, you do 60 kilos once again, but because you're a bit more tired, because you've already done 1 more set, you may rate that a little bit higher. So you're a little bit more fatigued, that set felt harder, you've now rated that an RPE 8. Now, unfortunately, your program says you need to be doing these at an RP 7. So in this case, what you would do is actually reduce the amount of weight that you're doing. So we're going to need to bring that weight down. Generally speaking, around 5 to 10% drop works really well to drop just a 1 RPE point, should we call it? So you would drop that weight down to, say, 54 kilos. So now you do your second set. Hopefully that felt like a 7 again, and you're back on track. You would then repeat the next set, again, however many sets you've got. From there, we would then have a look at the average, and we would take that into the following week, unless obviously specified differently. But don't be shy to use different weights or different intensities to make sure you match your RPE scale. Now, another way that we can use RPE to our advantage is something called auto-regulation. So this is where, as the athlete, you get to decide how hard or how little you can push yourself for that day. So generally, you'll see this more in a deload with my style of training anyway. I'll give you, say, an RPE 6 target to hit. Now, obviously, depending on how tired you are coming into that session, or if you're super energized, that RPE 6 could be drastically different. Again, it wants to be based off how you feel for the day. This is the point of auto-regulation. So if you end a heavy 6 weeks of training and then it's day 1 of the deload, an RPE 6 there is going to be significantly less than, say, when you're 3-4 days into a deload, when you've actually started to get that recovery back up. So if we look then to repeat the first session, I guarantee your RPE 6 would be a little bit higher. Both obviously working to the intensities that we could manage for that day. However, we're taking into consideration the fatigue and the tiredness and the motivation to train all into consideration. So this is why auto-regulation is super handy for those deloading. And there you go, guys. That is a general look at the RPE scale, how to use it, what it looks like, what RPE should feel like, how you can incorporate that into your programming, just a real general overview of it. If you're interested in something more detailed, then please do drop a message below. Now, again, if you like the video, make sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one.